Hi, I'm Sperry Hutchinson with U-Haul, and today I'm going to show you how to install trailer wiring onto this Pontiac Vibe. Trailer wiring is important to have when you're towing a trailer here in the United States or in Canada. You need to have lights. That's the law. So we're going to show you how easy it is to install a four-way flat wiring harness to this vehicle today.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
To get started, we're going to open our rear hatch, and we want to gain access to our side panels here where our taillight harnesses are. So I'm going to open first this driver's side panel, and we'll remove it. And we'll do the same thing here on the passenger side with this access panel. Okay, we need to gain access to beneath some of our rear cargo area panels to connect our left and right side taillight harness. So I'm going to begin by removing our cargo mat, opening our cargo area here, revealing access to the spare tire well, so that I can remove, using a 10mm socket, a bolt here on the passenger side, as well as one here on the driver's side. And then our tie-down points on our driver's side quarter panel. And popping these loose is going to give me the ability to pull this panel out a little ways from the vehicle and get good access where I need to run this wiring. I'm going to pull the weather strip out here a little bit and simply pop this panel straight out. We're just going to do the same thing on our passenger side quarter panel here. Pulling the weather strip and then just pop the panel straight out. With our harness in hand here, we can see our module, our converter box, of course our four-way flat that's going to go out to connect to our trailer lights, as well as a yellow and brown set of wires and leads that are going to connect to our driver's side taillights. And then the red and green, red helps you know that it's going to the right side, red on right. And we are going to connect this pigtail to our factory taillight harness. First, I want to run it behind this panel, which is why we took it loose. And we'll gain access most easily through this access panel here to the backside of our taillight. So here we're going to disconnect our factory taillight harness and simply tie it into the provided adapters on our trailer wiring harness. Okay, with our passenger side connected, we can come over back to the driver's side. And again, we'll pull this panel a little ways out so that we can route our wiring, our converter, everything that's going to go back behind this panel. And I'm just going to pull my four-way flat lead all the way through, just to get it out of the way. And as we did on the passenger side, we're going to connect our adapters to the factory taillight connection here behind this panel. And with our factory harness disconnected, we'll insert the ends appropriately, pushing it until we hear them click securely into place, so we know that we've got a good connection there. With our converter box here, you can see a few leads that we still need to connect. One is our power lead that we're going to run up to the front of the vehicle But first, we've got this short ground connection with an eyelet. So we have the option of drilling a new hole and installing a sheet metal screw or a new fastener, but I can see back behind this panel that there are some existing grounds that I'm going to mount this eyelet to. With our ground wire connected, all that's left to connect is our power wire lead, and so we've got the length of black power cable that's supplied in the kit, and I'm going to run it from underneath the car, since that's the majority of the wire is going to run beneath the vehicle and up to the battery. So I see, looking down in the well and from below, that I've got a rubber grommet. I'm going to remove that and route that cable up through the grommet. Here's the grommet I was talking about in that well below the quarter panel. I'm going to remove it, and we're actually going to cut a small hole in this to run our wire through. Okay, with the hole in our grommet now, we can insert our wiring through the grommet, giving ourselves enough to run up to our lead on the converter box, and then we will reinstall our grommet. Back up top, we've got the black lead that we're going to connect to our red lead here. We can see that it's just a cut end, so I'm going to use a set of wire stripping tools and give myself about a 1/4 inch of bare wire here. And now I've got a supplied yellow butt connector here in the kit, and I'm going to simply crimp that. Again, always making sure that I am crimping the ferrule, the metal part of the barrel, within that butt connector on both red and black wires, ensuring we have a good connection here. Giving it a light tug, I can see that we do. I'm now going to tuck most of this wiring back behind the panel, and in our kit we've got some double-sided tape, and I want to use this now to secure our converter box behind the panel so that it's not banging around back here, making a bunch of noise as we are going down the road. With our converter box secured, I want to secure also this length of red and green. Remember our passenger light wiring that's traveling across the rear compartment here. I want to secure that to our factory loom that's also traversing the cargo area. That's going to keep this wiring safe if we ever need access to the spare tire. And so we've got some zip ties included in the kit. I'm just going to tuck that wiring back and secure it using 2 of these zip ties. Okay, now our 4-way flat, I'm going to leave this accessible in this rear cargo compartment behind this panel. So that way when we want to attach it to a trailer lead, we have access to it. But now we're ready to put our cargo area back together before we work underneath the vehicle. Okay, back underneath the car, I'm ready to route the power wire from this grommet all the way up to the front where I need to connect it to the battery. So I'm gonna run it along the driver's side here because I'm looking underneath the car, and we always wanna keep the wires away from any suspension components, any hot exhaust pipes, for example. So what I'm gonna do is run it carefully along the emissions canister back here, and I'm gonna use a few zip ties as we go to secure this cable. Okay, now that I've got the undercar wiring safely routed up to the front of the vehicle, about to the firewall, I'm going to use this sturdy piece of wiring as a fish line or a fish tape, and I'm going to route it following the factory harness down the firewall, and I'll find it back under the car here. And I'm going to use this to pull that power lead up to the battery exactly where I want it. Here's my fish wire from above, my power lead from below, and I'm gonna put them together and secure them with a short length of electrical tape. Okay, back up top, we're just gonna pull our fish wire other end. We're going to install our round eye or ring terminal, and here we can see that the wiring is all the way down inside that metal, inside of the metal ferrule, and we're just going to crimp this in place. Okay, now we're ready to trim our power lead. Again, we'll strip just a short length of wiring. Insert this into the butt connector to our fusible lead and crimp it solidly also. We're just going to undo the 12mm nut. On our accessory terminal. Install our power lead. Replace and tighten that hardware. And install our 10 amp fuse in the circuit. Final step is just to tuck this wiring down out of the way and just double check if you have any areas that you'd like to zip tie, either up here along the firewall harness or under the car. Do so now. Okay, with our installation complete, back in the rear of our vehicle, we'll see that our four-way flat is safely stowed behind this driver's side panel. And when we are ready to tow, we'll simply route it through the hatch. We can close the cargo hatch on the wiring. It's able to move. You're not going to pinch it because you've got the weather stripping there. And this is how you're going to connect it to a trailer when you're going down the road. So that does it. Thanks for watching.
To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.